talk about my 3 foundational principles to having a balanced brain. Hello, if we haven't met yet, my name is Dr. Celia Corbo. I'm a functional health practitioner, licensed chiropractor, and entrepreneur, and I'm here to help balance your brain and guide you to living your best quality of life. Now, before I get into my 3 foundational topics, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button at the bottom so I can keep notifying you when amazing content comes out. All right, let's get started. These are the 3 foundational pillars when it comes to having a balanced brain and a regulated nervous system. They are taking responsibility, setting boundaries, and delegating. These are the 3 things that all entrepreneurs need to be doing in order to have that nervous system regulation and that balanced brain in order to perform at that high functioning level. You see, owning a business is really, really, really difficult. I've owned a few businesses back in my day. And although they weren't great big businesses, like they weren't any kind of like Walmart or Target or anything like that, still owning a business and running your own show is exhausting. And especially in the beginning, you can get trampled on hard because you are just aiming to serve and you are just trying to make a sale and trying to pay off your bills, right? But if we approach all of our transactions like that and we're not doing it for the greater good, we are really going to end up in a state of lack and we are going to end up in a state of dis-ease. So what I want us to do first before talking about these 3 foundations of having a regulated nervous system and a balanced brain, I really want you to think about why you started your business in the first place. What is it that really got you going? What was the pleasure of studying that certain thing in school or applying for that job that made you feel like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm going to do? And that excitement of what you were going to do for a good portion of your life. I want to go back there. Now, let's bring it back to today. And if you need to pause it and take some more time, do that. But let's bring it back to today. You're probably not in that same state of excitement towards your job that you were when you originally started or when you were just coming out of school. You're probably feeling like, what the actual F did I sign up for? And is this really what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? And I'm here to tell you that these foundational principles are what really helps to guide me when I'm thinking those exact thoughts. The first one is I take responsibility. So I have to remember at the end of the day, this is my business. This is what I chose to do. You have the free will to choose to keep going with something or to end it. And by choosing every day to keep going with it, that is a conscious choice. No one is putting any kind of influence or obligation on you to keep going. It's only you versus you. So that choice to keep going, that responsibility to keep going, that's on you. But taking responsibility is not just about making choices. It's also about this victim mentality that we get our minds into. And that's the main thing that I want you to take from this lesson. Get out of victim mentality. When you are in this victim state of mind, like, poor me, I hate my life. Why can't it ever be good for me? Why is everyone's life so much better? You are giving your power away to these thoughts, and you are relinquishing your power to change to these thoughts. They're thoughts. They're not actual things. If I were to see someone with a better job than me and I'm thinking, why can't I have that job? They're not thinking that. They're not thinking, oh, she probably wishes she has my job. No, they're probably minding their own business, right? They don't care about what you're doing because they're there and they're trying to make the best out of their life. So why are you consuming your thoughts and why are you giving your power away to something that you can easily obtain and achieve if you were just to make the right decisions and the right choices for you? So taking responsibility is so much more than just being accountable for what you're doing. It's also making sure that you're not giving your power away to these thoughts, to these actions, and you are in control of your life. Your ego doesn't love change. Let me just put that out there. Your ego loves to stay exactly where it is. I call it the cage. And you can make this cage as beautiful as you want, as entertaining and colorful as you want, but we never leave the cage. And when something disrupts the cage, that's when our victim mentality kicks in. But I challenge you, the next time you have this thought of, poor me, why can't I change? Why can't I be better? Why do they always have everything? Take it out. Stop giving your power away. There's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy. And comparison is a very left brain emotion. So if you haven't heard me talk about the brain yet, we have two hemispheres. We have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. The right hemisphere looks at the big picture of things, and it's looking at your job. The left hemisphere is the side that is analyzing everything. It's analyzing all the things you like, all the things you don't like, all the things that other people have. It makes up stories for you. And we are not supposed to spend too much time in our left brain. But unfortunately, through social media and through the way that we're raised through the institution of school and work, that is where we reside. And that's why we have a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and a lot of negative, low vibration type of emotions because we're letting our left brain go too crazy and we're not nurturing the right brain enough. Taking responsibility and taking back your power, getting rid of victim mode is a wonderful way to nurture your right brain. And a wonderful way to do this is through affirmations. I am good enough. I have a high paying job. I love my job. I'm grateful that I get to wake up every morning and go to work. I'm so happy I get to serve my clients to make their life easy and their day better. All of these affirmations help to reinforce the neurological pattern in the right brain that we have tended to let slide because the left brain is just going freaking nuts. Turn the volume down on the left brain. You don't need it to talk so much. Turn down the volume and turn up the volume on the right side through these affirmations and getting back your control and your power. Second one is setting boundaries. Now, this one can be very tough because if you're a people pleaser, it's hard to set boundaries. It's hard to say no. It's hard to draw the line. But I really want you to stand in your power and be like, this doesn't serve me. Saying yes to this situation and giving my power away to that situation is not serving me and I don't feel good about it. So then don't do it. Learn how to say no. Setting boundaries is extremely difficult if you don't know how to say. People pleasing is a form of self-sabotage, but it's also a form of neglect, a form of denial, a form of guilt, a form of shame, because you don't want people to hate you. You don't want people to be like, oh my God, Celia, that stupid girl. Or, oh my God, Brad, that bum. No, you don't want that. You want people to love you. Your ego wants to be praised. It wants to be caressed and given all of the acknowledgement. So if someone asks us to do something that doesn't resonate with us, probably we're going to still say yes because our ego just wants us to say yes. But that's not true. And stop making that your truth. Rattle the cage and learn how to say no. I can tell you that the first time you say no, you're going to feel like this ick in you. And you're going to be like, oh my God, what did I just do? Oh my God, I feel so, oh my God, should I go back and say yes? No, oh my God, I feel so bad that I did that. Oh my God, they're going to think I'm such a bitch. What? Oh my gosh. Pause. You said no. Stick to no. Don't go back and change your mind. Set the boundary, learn how to say no, and stick with it. Yeah, sure, you're going to have this like mental debate because your left brain is like, why would you say no? We're so used to saying yes all the time. Now they're going to think we're this crazy person that doesn't like them. Meanwhile, your right brain is like, thank you for listening to yourself and for being confident enough to say no. But the volume isn't high enough yet on the right side of the brain. So you're not listening to that thank you and that gratitude that you're giving yourself yet for keeping within your boundaries. You're just listening to your left brain tell you all the bad things and making up all these bizarre stories about how people are not going to like you. They're not going to respect you because you keep saying no. Well, I have news for you. When you set your boundaries and when you set your worth of what you will and will not do, people will respect you more. They're not going to walk all over you and use you like a doormat. They are going to understand that Celia says no to things that she doesn't want to do. Doesn't mean they're not going to ask, but now you've gotten more comfortable in your skin to say no, and they'll respect you for it. There's nothing wrong with the word no. And if you stand behind your decision and you're not wishy washy all the time, then people will respect that. One of my really close girlfriends, she has a hard time saying no. And I've talked to her so much about this, where she will say yes to everything and like downward spiral because of it. And I'm like, you can't do this to yourself. You have to learn how to set your boundaries and say no. So she did just that. And she started saying no to things and she started standing in her power and saying no. But then she would go back and be like, oh, okay, I changed my mind. I'll do it. Like, no, you can't do that. You can say no and then have this private conversation with yourself and try to negotiate with yourself, but you can't go back. And don't go back. If you truthfully don't want to do something, frig, just say no. Like I said, you're going to feel like this ick in the beginning, but then there's this sense of liberation and freedom that kind of just flows through you. And you're going to be like, yes, this is what I need to do for myself. And it is to learn how to say no and stand in my power. And even when you're going through a new transformation in your identity or in your business or in your love life or whatever it is that you're transforming from into, learning how to say no is always going to be uncomfortable. And setting those boundaries with people is probably going to have people leave your social circle and not want to be a part of you anymore. But that's okay. Because if you understand what the bigger picture is in regards to you having this better, more balanced brain quality of life, it's not going to bother you so much and you will learn how to let go. So setting those boundaries is also you claiming your power, standing in your truth, and learning how to nurture the right side of your brain so your left brain can just shut up. It'll stop making up stories and it will stop telling you that you're not good enough because you are not saying no and you keep saying yes to everything. Squat it. Put it to bed. Say no to things that you truly don't want to do and just stand in your power of setting your boundaries. The final foundation is delegating. This is hard. They're all hard, but this one's hard because you are now entrusting somebody with a task or to do something that you just don't have the time to do. And I know for me, in my business, in my practice, when I hired a receptionist, which was not too long ago, I'd say a couple years ago, because I really was doing everything. I was the receptionist, I was the chiropractor, the healer, the accountant, everything. When I hired a receptionist, I spent so much time up at the front by the desk because I was just like not micromanaging, but I was just like looking to see what she was doing. Do you need help with anything? Like, I'm here for you if you need it. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. If I need you, I'll call you. Now, I went through a few receptionists just to find the right one because it's hard to find really good people to be on your team. And now the person that I have on my team is freaking incredible. But I've also changed. I've learned how to delegate. I've learned to surround myself with people that I trust to get the job done. You have open communication with these people at all times. And if something does go in the wrong direction or it goes off course, we can bring it back. It's an easy fix. So when it comes to delegating, you need to make sure that you're delegating the proper tasks to the proper people. Don't just give tasks that are important away, but let's also understand that you can't do everything. There is such thing as overwhelm and burnout, and your brain doesn't want to get there. Like I said, your brain wants to be balanced and it will do whatever it takes to be balanced. But same with your body. There's a hormone called cortisol. And if we have too much cortisol circulating all the time, we are going to end up in a state of dis-ease. It can affect our thyroid. It can affect our weight gain or weight loss. It can affect our sugar and our metabolism. It can produce a lot of brain fog, headaches, lethargy. Like, it's not something that we want all the time going on in our body. So we need to learn how to delegate. We need to learn how to offload some of these tasks so we're not overwhelming our brain and our body. But picking that person can be a challenge. And you're probably going to go through a few people on your team before you find that one. Or if you're going to do everything, delegate things to time. And this is a big one because being an entrepreneur and not having a team in my at-home business, it's mainly just at my clinic, I have to learn how to delegate time properly. I cannot spend a full day on a project that should take me 1 hour to do. Because really, then what are you doing? You're spending the whole day doing this one task that should have taken you an hour. Are you overthinking? Are you trying to be perfect? Are you feeling like this isn't the best work that you've done? Are you AKA self-sabotaging? Right? So delegate it to time. Say, I got 1 hour to get this done, and then that's done. And I'm moving on to the next thing. So if you don't have a team member to delegate to, delegate time. Time is your friend. As the famous real estate agent Ryan Serhant says, you have 1,440 minutes in a day. Now, I'm no real estate agent, but I have just as much time as he does. And I want to make sure that I'm using my time wisely and successfully. So if you are realizing that one project is taking way too long, just drop it, come back to it on another day when you can delegate more time to it, and keep moving on. So those are my 3 rules of emotionally regulating and balancing your brain so you can have a regulated nervous system. Don't give up your power. Start taking responsibility. Don't enter victim mentality, because really, for what? You are just giving your power away to a thought. So take responsibility. Set boundaries. Take your power back and learn how to say no. Learn how to stand in your power and do what serves you. Finally, learn how to delegate. Give tasks to people that they could do, because you can't do everything and you need to stand in your power and become more powerful and build the business and the health and the body of your dreams. Balancing your brain doesn't have to be hard, but starting small and doing things in little bite-sized increments to help encourage these new neural connections that form habits is essential in building and activating the best quality of life. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you at the next one.